Lakers Nation, what is going on? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about two athletic freak centers that could be very cheap options this summer. They're both going to be free agents, and I know they're not the sexiest name, but I'm trying to be optimistic as possible and look at, free agents that are really realistic and then players that are not realistic that the Lakers can't go after because of, the CBA and the restrictions, us being a first April team. And if you're, signing players that are going to be, through sign and trade, then most likely you're going to be hard capped. So there's going to be restrictions. You just don't want that because you're going to be a second April team. So like the Lakers are very limited in assets. I know we have Rui Hachimura. He's expiring. You got Austin Reeves. He's going to be going to a contract year because he's going to be looking to get paid at least $30+ million the following offseason, not this year, but in 2026. And then you got your rookie, Dalton Connect, which he's making small money, around $3 or $4 million. But the Lakers have to, make a plan. They have to get creative, right? And we desperately need a center. I know it's going to depend on LeBron James because he could take a pay cut, but most likely I'm hearing reports that he might not even take a pay cut, but who knows? This is just, rumors. We're not really sure what's true or false. But LeBron James take pay cuts before, even dating back to last offseason. I know it wasn't huge. Originally, he was going to take a $20 million pay cut, but he took a lot less. But I do digress. And the Lakers, I'm not even sure if they're going to have the full MLE, which is going up to at least $14.1 million, the non-taxpayer exception. But we're probably going to most likely have the taxpayer mid-level exception, which is worth about $5.2 million. And I know the free agent options are not like that great. I know Miles Turner's like the top, but after the Indiana Pacers winning against the New York Knicks in game, 6, making it to the NBA Finals, facing off against OKC, I think Miles Turner's going to stay. Who knows? I could be wrong. He could just be like, you know what? I'm going to get paid the bag. I just want an NBA championship. I'm going to try to help another team. So there's always that possibility. You got Brook Lopez, but he's 37. He's aging. I would pass. He's not the type of center that we need. You got guys like Clint Capella. Obviously, he's one of the better offensive rebounders in the league, and defensive centers in the league can, be a lob threat and protect the rim, but he just isn't the same player back in the, Houston Rockets days in his prime, but he's still serviceable as a backup center. And then you got guys like Steve Adams. So the list just gets worse. There's not too many great options. So most likely the Lakers are going to trade for a center, whether it's through the market or sign a backup center or a starting level center in free agency. But the Lakers have the 55th overall pick in the second round. And we can either keep it or trade up in the draft, especially if the scouting department and our GM, Rob Pelinka, sees a center that he's really high on, or if it's like a versatile wing, which we desperately need, outside on the perimeter, or 3-and-D guards. So who knows what the Lakers do, and like what is their plan? A lot of fans like me are just wondering, but I'm not going to waste too much time in this video. I'm going to break it down in this video. I would really appreciate it if you could like it to get it to more people so my channel can grow, and subscribe, man. We're on the road to 4K subs. Make sure you guys follow my socials. The links will be down in the description if you guys want to go check it out. If you guys don't know who I am, my real name is Sharpe Fields. I do post Lakers content if you guys enjoy it, 365 days. And turn on the notification bell so you guys stay updated or get notified whenever I drop Lakers or just NBA content in general. So I'm not going to waste too much time. Let's get back into today's video. So shout out to Lakers Better for once again updating us on some Lakers news. Got you guys covered. So there's a rumor pretty much coming out, and it says that the Lakers can instead chase younger bigs who might be able to fit that bill, like Jericho Sims. Please not. I know beggars can't be choosers. Like I said, the Lakers don't really have that much cap space to work with, and these are cheap options. So if you're trying to compete, you shouldn't be going after the minimum. I just much rather keep, Trey Jemison or Christian Coloco, but these guys were not even playoff eligible for a reason. I mean, Jada Redick just didn't have trust in them. But even if they did play and they were playoff eligible, I still think the Lakers would have went with the same star lineup. Even Jack Deniz, but he was unplayable game, 4, the first 4 games. But that's why he didn't play him in game 5. And the report is coming out that he's just not happy with his role. He was disgruntled, just not thrilled about it towards the season. He felt like he lost money, and that's why Jada Redick just didn't have faith in him. That's why running, Dorian Finney-Smith at the small ball 5, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James. I mean, you got Alex Len. He was a buyout candidate, but he was playoff eligible. He didn't even play right. I mean, he was pretty much, passing the waters. He was just sitting on courtside pretty much for free. So it's like, what other options are there? But Jericho Sims, he is like 6'10". He's not really a 7 footer. He does weigh about 250 pounds. So he has that bulk. He's muscular. He's much more leaner. He's just like another Jackson Hayes. But like I said, not the really biggest fan of him. You know what's crazy? They both went to the same college, Texas, Longhorns. But Jackson Hayes, he's 7 feet tall, unlike, Jericho Sims. The only difference is that Jackson Hayes is much more smaller, even though he's taller because of his, weight, 220 pounds. But like I said, Jericho Sims is 250 pounds. But also, you got Sharpe, who's been linked to the Lakers. I thought they should include him in the Dorian Finney-Smith trade, but I guess, the offer was kind of expensive, pricey. That's why the Lakers didn't trade for Sharpe. But a lot of fans were thinking that they should include him, but instead they got, Shake Milton, which was more of like an add-in. And he's been, coming off the bench for the Lakers. He's been a third stringer, but I digress. Sharpe, he's cool. Like, he's not really the biggest fan of him. I mean, he's a backup center. It's not like he's starting. Obviously, Nick Claxton is a starting center. And the Lakers have expiring contracts, which the Brooklyn Nets love. And, you got their GM, Sean Marks, who has a really great relationship with, GM Rob Pelinka. So maybe the Lakers work out something to get, a Sharpe or Nick Claxton a trade. But Sharpe, he's a restricted free agent. So they could pretty much, match any offer a team does. Let's say, more money, then they have the bird rights to keep him. But Sharpe, he's not a legit 7 foot. He's undersized, like 6'9". He does have the weight. He's 265 pounds. So he has good timing. He's lanky. He has, the size. Obviously, he's not very tall, but he has the weight. He's rim running big. He's athletic. He has the leaping ability, verticality to at least catch lobs. So I guess he'll make perfect sense alongside Luka Doncic, just the open looks. But obviously, you're asking him to be a backup, not a starter. But like I said, these options are just very cheap and not really the biggest fan of them. But Lakers fans, NBA fans in general, you guys know in the comment section how do you guys feel about these two options. And they're going to be off the radar candidates according to Bleacher Reports. So I'll put the link down in the description. But before I end this video off, I do want to show you their stats for the season. So Sharpe, he did average around 7.9 points per game. Shooting 52% from the field, 6.6 rebounds, which is very good, 1.8 assists. And look at his games played, 50 games played, 2 starts, mostly coming off the bench, 18.1 minutes a night. And he does need to extend his 3-point range. Doesn't really take too many threes like that, but 0.9 attempts. Shooting terrible from the 3-point, 24.4%. He is a career 29.5%, but he did shoot 75.7%, which was a career high. Much improved, 1.5 attempts, but his career is 64.8%. So it's not great, but it's not terrible, right? 1.8 assists, 0.8 blocks. So here's our pretty much his stats. And then you got Jericho Sims stats. Guess what? He's barely even averaging 2 points per game, 1.8 points, 3.7 rebounds. Not all that great. 0.6 assists. Shooting 63.4% from the field. And let's just take a look at the games he's played. 14 for the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm pretty sure he was away from the New York Knicks. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but didn't really play too much. Started 5 games, 39 games played, only playing around 10.0 minutes a night. So he's not really getting too much of an opportunity. And I thought he was, not all that good. He's actually garbage. But I know some people might even say just because he was garbage on the New York Knicks doesn't mean he's going to be garbage on the Los Angeles Lakers. But here's a reason why he hasn't got too much burn or playing time, because he's not very good, but doesn't, belong in the NBA. That's just my personal opinion. But he did shoot 60.9% from the field. Doesn't take any threes. No attempts in his career. Doesn't space out the floor. He's a guy that's just going to be in the dunker spot. Can't really create his own shot, so teams are going to have to, set him up. And they can't really respect him because they're going to attack him. But like I said, he's pretty much a liability. Not the biggest fan of him. But he did shoot 61.5% from the free throw line. Average around 3.3 rebounds, 0.6 assists, 0.3 blocks, 0.2 steals, and 1.6 points per game. But with the Milwaukee Bucks, 15 minutes a night, shooting 68% from the field, 4.9 rebounds, which did go up from 3.3, 0.8 assists, 0.6 blocks, 0.1 steals, and 2.4 points per game. So here are the stats. Let me know in the comment section how do you guys feel about these two players. Like I said, I would pass, but like I said, beggars can't be choosers, and we have to see what's actually out there because the Lakers, they're going to have to trade for a star level center no matter what. And I know the Lakers won't trade Austin Reeves unless it's for like a top tier center. So nobody's untouchable except for like, Luka Doncic, LeBron James. But these guys are extendable. And we'll see what happens. The Lakers actually trade Austin Reeves. But I think a team will take a chance on them. And if the Lakers want to get the most value for Austin Reeves, then I think it'll be around the trade deadline because he's going to be going to a contract year, and they're going to want to see if he bounces back in the regular season since he's going to be going to a contract year. And if he actually does play well, I should say, not pay, but play well, then I could see a team be like, you know what, let's take a chance on Austin Reeves. There's teams that are showing, interest in him. I've seen some suitors. I forgot what the teams are. I know the New York Knicks were like the favorites. I've seen teams like the Clippers linked to him, but we'll see. I know the Dallas Mavericks have, the superstar point guard Kai Irving, but he's going to be out with Achilles. Most likely he's going to miss the remainder of the season, but if not, if he does come back, it's around late January, February. I'm so sorry if this video is a little bit off topic, but I'm just bringing it up because, you got Austin Reeves, and I know the Lakers are probably not going to want to trade him unless it's for like a top tier, clear-cut, all-star caliber player. Like, for example, a player like Jaren Jackson Jr. He's one former, defensive player of the year, maybe a Jared Allen, but we'll see what happens. I would even trade him for Jared Allen, but maybe a trade package that would just get us, two players that can complement Luke and LeBron that just fit better. It's not always about the name or the front of the jersey. It's about the players that are just blue chip players that would just fit well and make sense for the Los Angeles Lakers. But yeah, man, that's all I got for today's video. The links will be down in the description once again, and I'm out of here. Peace. Cheers.